Hey, it's KB, and it's time for KB's Unemployed show again. We have got a big show today. We're going to pack an awful lot into it. First of all, what I'm going to talk about are my favorite natural disasters. I've been getting sucked into these YouTube disaster documentaries. Then I'm going to give you an update on a story, the beer pong game gone incredibly wrong. And last but not least, you're going to get to meet my new once in a while news anchor. It is going to be an awful lot of fun, and it all starts now.
It's KB's unemployed sheet. He's unemployed and didn't know what to do, so started a shit. Talks about stuff to kill time. He didn't know what to call it, so he called it KB's Unemployed Show.
That's right. It is KB's Unemployed Show. I'm KB, and I've been employed now for 84 days. 84 days, again, with nothing on the horizon. And I'm telling you, when you get to be my age, unemployment is a gift. It truly is. Although I still do teach, it is truly a gift. And I'm really starting to enjoy it. So 84 days in, and no signs of looking back, no signs of looking for a job. And I start in April. I will be starting, well, actually in May, I will be starting at Erin Hills, but nothing for real. But as I said, we got a big show today. I'm pretty excited about this because I get to talk about stuff that I love to talk about. First of all, I'd like to wish everybody a happy National Pancake Day. But it's only at IHOP. And it's the regular National Pancake Day is September 26th. But IHOP says, now we're having our own. So today is National Pancake Day at IHOP. Yesterday was National Egg McMuffin Day. And so must be breakfast week here in the United States. IHOP, the International House of Pancakes, really has nothing international on the menu. It's not like you're going to go there, and get, what would be escargot pancakes or anything like that. So it's really not international whatsoever. But it is National Pancake Day. Now there's a right by near us. They're combining two dying companies that would be International House of Pancakes and Applebee's together. So now it's a split. It's an Applebee's International House of Pancakes. So two places I really have no interest in going to in one building. So that makes it convenient. I can just drive by one building now and go, nope, not going there. And I'm going to talk about, I got sucked into this weekend. I know I said in the opening disaster documentaries, but it really isn't disaster documentaries. I got sucked into tornado documentaries. I don't know what it is about them, but I noticed a few things when I was talking about tornadoes that are pretty wild, especially with these documentaries. And I've never been I think I've been close to being in a tornado. There's one I know that one hit the state fair when way back when I was a little kid, and I think I might have been in that, but I'm not exactly sure because all I remember is that my dad and I were at the state fair watching a group called the Harmonicats, which were four old men who played harmonicas, apparently big in the early 70s. But I am totally down with watching these tornado documentaries, not so much for the death and destruction, but more so for just the idiots that are in these documentaries, because at this point, I still can't understand it. And of course, we're going to have a top 5 list and a what color is the sky on your planet. And I'm not going to mess around anymore. I'm going to get right to, cut right to the chase. Since I've been doing this, I always go and do a few news stories and then just kind of ramble on. But I'm like, you know what? I need someone who can help me out in this. I'm tired of talking to myself, really. And what happened was, of course, I teach at UWM, and I'm going to give a little backstory to this. Drew and I, we always have a phrase when we meet someone new. And if we don't meet them together, the phrase that we use, it's like you say, "Hey, I met so and so the other night," and it's like, "Hey, what are they like?" And then the line we always use is, "Oh, he's one of us." Okay, so we know right away exactly the type of person it is, their mindset, their sense of humor, everything like that. And when I teach on the very first day of class, I ask a question. And the question that I ask is, what makes you interesting? And the reason I asked that question is I worked for a guy who ran a couple of very, very successful, large ad agencies. And I asked him, what were his hiring practices? Because a lot of people go look for the best and the brightest and everything like that. And he said, I've got two rules. Don't hire assholes and hire interesting people. And so I started asking this question, what makes you interesting? And I'm sure you wouldn't be amazed to find out that a lot of people, especially students, because they're young, don't know what makes them interesting. I couldn't even tell you right now what makes me interesting, but that is, so I really don't get a lot from students. But this time went around, and this is probably about 3/4 of the way through the class. And I happened upon a young lady. And I said, so what makes you interesting? And without missing a beat, she says, I was born in the meth capital of the United States. And I went, she's one of us. Right away. So a couple of weeks pass in class, and I realized that she's quite a learned person, has insights into a lot of different things. So I just said, hey, you want to come on and read the news? And she said, oh, I'd love to do a podcast, even though, as well as you know, this is the dumbest podcast in the world. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But I'm going to introduce her right now. It is Miss Piper. Piper.
Hi, that's me. I'm from the meth capital of the United States, good old Springfield, Missouri,
Springfield, Missouri.
Ozarks.
But you only spent, this is what I love, you only spent 2 months there in
It really
Springfield, you said, when you were
left
born.
Yep, I was born there, and then my parents instantly got the hell out of Dodge, and I've lived like most of my 22 years of life in Wisconsin. I consider myself a Wisconsinite through and through. Like, I love cheese. I come from a long lineage of alcoholics, okay? It's in my bloodstream, okay? I'm probably very susceptible to addiction. So I feel like I'm much more like a Midwest girl at heart than, I don't know, a woman from the Ozarks. I don't think that's not part of the Piper perspective, no.
Okay, there we go. What do you think, folks? She's one of us, right? You can tell within the first 30 seconds of her responding to an answer. Let's see. Ben in the 414 says, yeah, I thought the meth capital was Merrill. No, it's actually Pickerel. But anywho, so I invite Piper to come on, and she goes, I'd love to do the news. And so I said, here's all you have to do is you just go through and you pick out a couple of news stories and you read them as if it was the actual news. And then I simply will comment on them. And we will have discussions. And you guys can chime in too on YouTube in the comments. And I can see a lot of people are, hey, Piper, you got a big old atta girl from Marlo. Who,
oh my goodness, I'm here for that energy. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's what I'm here for.
And Marlo is one of the listeners of the Drew and KB show up and way up in Swamico, in the little Swamico area, actually. And
I don't know where that is.
It's north of Green Bay. And she makes a wonderful charcuterie board, which is fantastic.
I love charcuterie boards more than anything on the face of the planet. When you get some olives up in there, with the pepper encrusted sausage, and then like the cheeses with all the different gunk in there. Like, I'm there. I'm sad. This is what I'm here for. That's the only thing I really look forward to at Thanksgiving. Like, there's all this family drama going on. No, I'm not here for the turkey, the gravy, the mashed potatoes. None of that. Okay, give me my charcuterie board.
Just the nibbling. Yeah, I hear you. So yeah, Marlo is that, and then she's a big fan of Italy. So I mean, that's two big pluses. I think Italy is my favorite country that's not America, and right now, and as I said to you Miss Piper, that we don't talk about politics here because you get that everywhere else.
Mhm.
But right now, Italy may be jumping to my number one favorite country.
You know
Uh,
what? My family's from there, from Sicily, the little ball that the boot of Italy is kicking. My great grandfather immigrated from there. He went through Ellis Island and everything.
you know what? Um, each time I have a conversation with you, the layers of this onion get peeled off. So we go from meth capital of the world to great grandfather came in through Ellis Island
Hmm.
to your love of charcuterie. Um,
Hmm.
also, you are quite knowledgeable about animals in the wild kingdom as you worked at the zoo.
I did. I worked in their education department, so I was a camp counselor there for a summer, and I grew up going to zoo classes. That was like my first dream job was to be a zookeeper. Actually, I think I was an entomologist, which I think is a very weird thing for a
What's just
3-year-old.
bugs, right?
Yes. I like bugs though. I don't mind them. I'm like the type of person, like if there's like a spider stuck in the house, I will take it out, like bring it outside. I won't kill it. Unless it's on my bed, because that's personal. I've had spiders like crawl on my pillows before. I'm like, legitimately, this is breaking my boundaries. You're invading my personal space. You're gone. You're done. But other than that, if there's like a fly, I don't care, a spider. Spiders kill the bad bugs I don't like mosquitoes. So they're like a necessary thing that we gotta keep around. I do have a bee stinger stuck in my shoulder too, so I feel like I'm connected to the bugs that way.
That's right. You said that you had a bee stinger.
Mhm,
That you have a bee stinger stuck in your shoulder that you never
mhm,
wanted to have removed.
mhm.
And what was the other thing? Oh, you want to be stabbed again, so you have
Yes,
a scar.
yes.
Not
I
again, stabbed once, I should
yes.
say. Stabbed once does not
I
make you
have
been
a
previously
couple of
stabbed.
I have a couple of scars. Like I have a scar on my foot from kicking an iron pig because I was really angry and needed to put out that pent up frustration somewhere. I have a scar on my wrist that looks like I tried to hurt myself, but I was actually running away from a turkey that was trying to attack me in the middle of the woods, and a branch just scratched me. I have a whole bunch of all over my like scars all over my knees because me and my brother would like we would like roughhouse on like our family's driveway, so that always left to like skinned up knees. And then my ankles have been bitten to hell and back because of those razor blade scooters. We would cruise around on those growing up, and they would always clank my ankles like nobody's business. And there's still the remnants of that. They're never leaving me. I feel like they're gonna be on my body till the day I die.
You have lived 4 lifetimes, Miss Piper.
I think it's because I'm just always willing to do anything. I mean, like, that's why I'm on this podcast. I like trying new stuff that I've never done before. Like, that's the whole point of life, I think. It's just to constantly put yourself out there.
Well, there you go. And so I said, hey, why don't you come in and do the news? And because you know what, as you know, and it's not that tough to figure out. I'm old, and I don't understand you young people per se. And so I need to, I guess you could say, young it up. And I need a young person's perspective because the stuff that I look at in the news and the stuff that I read, as twisted as it may be, might be more for old people. So I need to get that young Piper energy. I need to get the Piper vibe,
Have a
into this.
perspective.
I need to have the young person's perspective. I want to
Mhm,
know what you're looking at in the world.
mhm.
And so, why don't you just give us some news stories here, and we'll just see where this goes, Piper.
Okay, so my first one, I've chose like three general topics that I think are very
Mhm.
broad, that I think are like topical, that everybody can have an opinion input on. Some of these are like you've definitely most heard of this, but we're starting off with Punch the Monkey. I feel like this has been like everybody and their mother maybe probably knows about Punch the Monkey. My parents most certainly do. My dad is currently obsessed with this. But I'm just gonna read this really quick article from
Okay.
CNN. Punch the Monkey stole the internet's heart. Now fans are sweeping up his IKEA plushie. So Punch is the rejected monkey who has become the internet's adopted animal baby. While you cannot take Punch home, you can curl up with his companion if you find one in stock. That is, Punch, a 7-month-old macaque at oh man, this is like my personal pet peeve when I'm not able to pronounce something. At Chica, what? I'm gonna look
Yeah,
up how to
it doesn't
pronounce this.
matter. It's a monkey island.
Yeah, at a zoo in Japan has become a viral sensation after striking up a
See,
heart-wrenching relationship with an
okay, let me
orangutan.
just, if I can critique you quickly, that's exactly
Mhm,
what the pro news person does. You get to that
mhm.
instead of stumbling over it, you just go, zoo in Japan. There we go. We all know.
I'm
Perfect.
sorry, I'm a journalism major, so I feel like I'm always like it's like actually my biggest pet peeve when I don't know how to pronounce something because I feel like I promise I care, I promise I'm listening and I'm paying attention. I just genuinely come from a line of people who are dyslexic and have trouble reading in the first place.
Fine. Don't
So,
worry about it. Don't
okay.
worry.
Has become a viral sensation after striking up a heart-wrenching relationship with an orangutan stuffed toy given to him as a substitute for his mother by the zookeepers who hand-raised him. Abandoned shortly after his birth last July, videos of the pint-sized primate, shunned and scolded by some of the other monkeys, dragging the plushie around his enclosure, have led to a surging interest in Punch, and by extension, IKEA. The Swedish flat-pack giant is better known for its furniture than its fluffy toys, but it is the retailer behind the orangutan plushie and is now working to restock the stuffed animal that is sold out at stores across the globe after Punch fans flocked to snag the maternal model, nicknamed by some as Ora Mama. Part of IKEA's Jungle Forest collection and priced at 19.99, the orangutan was sold out at all but five of the chain's 54 US stores, where CNN checked its website on Tuesday, with no more than two items left at any of those stores. Only one of Japan's 12 IKEA outlets showed the toy in stock, with the majority of UK stores either almost or entirely out of the product. Listings for the plushie have appeared on eBay with marked up prices. We are making sure that the toy is brought back in stock as soon as possible, Javier Quinones, global commercial manager for IKEA's IKEA Group, said in a statement to the Washington Post last week. The toy has been one of our most sought after across markets, and the story from Japan is now giving it a little extra love. IKEA has embraced the monkey's marketing potential, sharing an image of the stuffed toy on social media with the caption, "Sometimes family is who we find along the way." In Malaysia, a portion of every plushie sale will be contributed to supporting orangutan conservation efforts in the country, the region's IKEA's page announced on Monday. The small zoo, roughly 15 minutes from the center of Tokyo by train, is also dealing with a spike in attention. Long queues have formed on a daily basis to visit Monkey Mountain, with the zoo limiting front row viewing to around 10 minutes and banning the use of selfie sticks to limit stress caused to Punch and the other macaques. Roughly 9,600 visitors entered the zoo over the weekend, the zoo announced, with its total attendance figure for February around 47,000, more than double the previous year. There's been plenty of positive updates too, with recent videos showing Punch being groomed by and playing with other monkeys as he gradually fits in with his troop, and displaying increased independence by leaving behind his stuffed toy for longer and more frequent periods of time. So there we go.
Well, okay. So Punch the Monkey is now finally Punch the Monkey's finally playing with other monkeys, and the other monkeys are probably playing with Punch because they see that he's got that orangutan that everybody wants. But that, I mean, that is such a human thing, is that you see an animal that is sad and you have more heart and more caring for them. I'm trying to think of who said it might have been Dennis Miller said that that we have no respect for humanity anymore, and he's seen somebody step over a homeless person to throw fake blood on somebody wearing a fur. So it's this is one of those situations where it's like, don't worry about what's going around, with people around you. We got to get that monkey, and we have to charge more for it. Now, the macaque, this is what I want to know. Seeing that you've got a zoo background, right?
Mhm.
Um, when I was younger, and I used to go out, Monkey Island is just at the Milwaukee County Zoo is big fun, right? Monkey Island, it's like that first stop when you go. I don't go through the aviary because it really smells bad.
It does
And
though. When
I
I was
know,
a camp counselor, kids got shat on there. Like the birds would I think purposely target the children, knowing they were defenseless and couldn't do anything and would probably burst out crying. The amount of times I was like, everybody wear hats, wear jackets that you can take off and clean. Like please don't wear any outfits or like clothing that you actually like into the aviary because it's not coming out the same ever again. No.
No, but that's right where Monkey Island is, right? And
Mhm.
so when I was a kid, it seemed like there were hundreds of monkeys. There were
Mhm.
monkeys everywhere. Now there's like 7.
I know. I think it's okay. The Milwaukee County Zoo does a lot of good work, but I feel like some sections have become kind of dilapidated and run down. I think Monkey Island has definitely been at the brunt, facing the brunt of that. Because had a very similar mindset when I was growing up. You know, as a kid, like there was always it seemed like a bajillion monkeys spawning out of nowhere. It seemed like where are they even keeping all these little guys? And now that I'm an adult, I just went there for the Christmas lights celebration that they have every year.
Mhm.
And I swear, there was like 2 monkeys. I'm like, what is happening to them? Are they dying? Are they all diseased? Are they being are they being retained somewhere? Where are they? I feel like I need to start putting up missing posters for the monkeys.
I have no idea where they are. All I know is that now what I do is I go to the zoo in the summertime, and that's where. And okay, here's another. I'm going to drop this other old person thing on you.
Okay,
Um,
I'm ready.
yeah, because I hate saying this, but I'm going to say it. I go to the zoo to walk. Okay,
Oh, I do
yeah.
that too. I don't
Okay,
think that's an
then I
old
don't
person
feel
thing to
bad
say.
because you will never catch me going to a mall. I will never be a mall walker, but I like the zoo, and I would go to the zoo to walk. And because if you go in and if you go around all the way around the outside, it's almost exactly a mile. So I can go and do 4 laps around the zoo, and then I do a 5th lap where I look at the animals. And I think we had this conversation before. The one thing that I noticed about the zoo on weekdays, particularly, and not that I don't want them there, it just struck me as being rather odd. There are a lot of Amish at the zoo.
There are. And I feel like what was your whole thing of like an Amish child ever gets lost, you
Hmm.
know where they are because nobody else is going to be wearing
And
what they have
Amish,
up north.
anyone can lose their kid in a
Mhm.
crowd except an Amish person
It's true. When I went out
because
to Pennsylvania,
you find
I
a
like
you
I was
find
so
an Amish kid who's just wandering around looking for mom
mhm.
and dad. Just find someone else with a straw hat. It's pretty easy. They're all
I
dressed the same. And you know what? Even if it's not their parents, they're going to know who their parents are. So you can return the child to their rightful parents, which is very good.
the way you use return makes me sound like you're dropping off this child like at the pound or something. You know, like you adopted them from the Humane Society and it didn't work out, or like you were dropping off a book you borrowed from the library. Um, but when I
No.
went out to Pennsylvania, I was really surprised. Like there is a lot of Amish people out there, and I really in Wisconsin I only really see them at the zoo, and I always wonder how do they get there? How do they get to the zoo though?
They can have people drive them. I
Hmm.
looked into this. They can take, as long as they're not operating the machinery, they're fine. Now, I'm from north of the wall, so I'm from northern Wisconsin. Game of Thrones reference there. So I'm from
I love
northern.
Game of
Yeah,
Thrones.
I grew up north of the wall, and there are a lot of Amish people up there, and they are the hardest working, most trustworthy, honest. I mean, they're everything that Americans aren't really, but people make fun of them, and they make great furniture, and apparently a hell of a fish fry once a month.
Oh,
So we've got
I
that
can dig
going.
into that. I can get behind that. I haven't had fresh fry in like absolute ages. I feel like I have gone through 5 different lifetimes since I last had fish fry, and I am in desperate need of it. But like whenever I'm out on a Friday, I never go to a place that has it, and then I go to a place like a restaurant that serves fish fry like the day next day, and they're no longer serving anymore. I think if I were president, I would make sure that fish fry would be available throughout the weekend. I think
Okay.
this would be like one of the first few things I would put into mandate, and I think that
There
everybody can get behind that.
there are places that do the Wednesday and Friday because in pre-Vatican II, it was a Wednesday Friday thing for the Catholics that you had to do fish on Wednesday and Friday. So, or as a friend of mine said who moved here from Boston, he said, "I moved here And the question you ask on Friday is not, are you going out for a fish fry? It's, where are you going out for a fish fry? Okay, next story. Piper, Miss Piper.
Okay, so this one, oh, wait, now I'm kind of looking, maybe it's a video. So let me find another one with like a similar topic. But the Olympics just happened, as I'm
Mhm.
sure everyone is aware. And let's see. Let's see. Is this? I guess we can. I guess this is a. Okay, we'll go with this one. So the Olympics just happened, and the US did pretty all right. I feel like I am not a very patriotic person whatsoever until the Olympics come around, and I'm like USA to the day I die.
Mhm.
I feel like there was some upsets, like the males figure skating didn't exactly go how it was planned. My parents were texting me like, "Oh, our guy's gonna win gold," and then he came in like seventh or eighth place or something like that. And the guy from Kazakhstan won. Both our hockey teams got gold for like the first time ever, I believe.
No,
But
no.
to me, the real standout of the event was Alisa Liu.
Oh,
Alisa
the
Liu.
girl, the young girl figure skater.
Yes, and I wanted to find an article talking about how she kind of just did things her own way. She was like, I'm going to do the sport how I want to," because she originally retired because she didn't like the restrictions that she was under. You know, she's basically being forced to be on this really restrictive diet. You know, her dad was really hard on her in terms like, these are the training you have to go through. You know, this is what you have to wear. This is the music you have to dance to. So she basically like quit. And then she came back saying, like, the only reason I'm coming back is because I'm going to do things my way now. You know, like I'm going to be able to eat whatever I want. I'm going to train how I want. I'm going to dance to what I want. And I just feel like she has a really positive outlook on life, that she's doing something at a professional level, playing sports at a professional level, but doing it in a very joyous, free way that isn't like so stressful all the time. Like she's doing it as a way to express herself. So I wanted to find an article about that. Let's see. Hopefully this one isn't even
Mhm.
loading. So this is not really going. Okay. This one is from Figure Skaters Online. So we're going straight to the source. This is a good life. Alisa Liu embraces joy and creativity in figure skating. Okay. Returning to compete in China 3 years. Wait, is this from recently? This is from November. Okay, that's not gonna get the job done either. Why is this so hard? Okay, we'll do with this one from the Kansas City Star then. Alisa
Okay.
Liu's most powerful quotes and why the Olympic gold was inevitable. Alisa Liu, 20. Oh, okay, now it's telling me to. Okay, hold
I mean, you
on.
know what, Ed Piper, please don't take this personally.
I should be
Even
more
though I'm
prepared.
even though I'm saying this directly to you. And I'm horrible at this. We're in the same boat, but you got to kind of run through these things a little bit first.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like a person to hem and
Hey,
haw. Like
just
I go off
okay.
on a
Just
bajillion different tangents.
hold it. This show is a train wreck, so you fit in perfectly. I'm
Yay.
trying to. I'm. What all I'm saying is that, if you could force me to up my game by upping your game. You could push
Okay.
me.
I'm pushing you. All right. That's what I'm here for. Okay.
Mhm.
So Elisa Liu 20 scored 226.79 to win the Olympic gold in women's singles figure skating, ending a 24-year drought for American women. That then said the medal was never really the point. So they have a list of key facts. Liu posted a score of 150.20 and a total of 226.79 at the women's individual skate, a mark that the rest of the Olympic field couldn't touch. Let's see. She's the first American woman to win Olympic singles gold since Sarah Hughes in 2002. She became the first American woman since Sasha Cohen at the 2006 Turn Games to medal in singles figure skating. And she retired from skating in 2020 at age 16 after competing in the Beijing Winter Olympics and then returned in 2024. So she left the sport after the Beijing Games, then came back 2 years later with a new relationship to skating. I went through a whole year of school, and during winter break, I went skiing and realized school was hard, but it was not challenging enough for me, she told Cosmopolitan in January 2026. I got into other things like fashion, but I never went to the gym. Skating gave me something to be strong for. She stopped seeing skating as something she had to do and started seeing it as a creative outlet that brought together the things that she cared about: dance, music, design, and physical challenge. I love skating dresses and helping with the design process. This sport is kind of an outlet for me. I love dance and music, so it's everything in one, she explained to the outlet. Lewis coaches warned her that some judges and higher ups might be concerned with her look. Her response, per Cosmo, I said if they tell me to dye my hair black, I would quit. If they don't like it and they want to give me less scores or treat me differently, that's on them.
She
If I
had the
change my hair,
multicolored hair, right? It was like brown and
yes.
gold and brown. Okay. Yep.
If I change my hair, it's gonna be because I want to. She also told the magazine, "No one tells me what I'm gonna wear. No one tells me how my hair is gonna be. No one's gonna try to change me."
Mhm.
After winning, Lou skated off the ice, looked into the camera, and said, "That's what I'm effing talking about." Wait, are we allowed to swear on here?
Sure.
Okay, then I'll say it all the way. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Then
Beautiful.
she offered a statement that ran counter to the typical triumphant post-competition interview. Cupping the medal around her neck, she said, "I don't need this, but what I needed was a stage, and I got that. So I was all good, no matter what. If I fell on every jump, I would still be wearing this dress. So it's all good." When asked whether she feels stressed at the Olympics, Lou didn't hedge. Oh hell no. Competitions are where I'm least stressed because people get to see what I do. That's why I do it, so I can share my work. According to a 60 Minutes feature in early 2026, Lou shared, "I love struggling actually. It makes me feel alive. What I like to share about myself is my story, my art, and my creative process," she told NBC News. I guess messing up doesn't take away from that. It's still something. It's still a story. If a bad story is still a story, and I think that's beautiful. There's no way to lose. If the goal is expression rather than perfection, every attempt adds to the body of work. The stumbles become part of the narrative rather than the disqualifying moments. Do
Mhm.
stuff that people tell you you shouldn't do, Lou said per The Athletic. I've been doing a lot of that. You should also find a good team, and I'm so grateful to have such great support around me. My friends really hold me down. So that no matter what happens in my life, I think I have a beautiful life story and I feel really lucky. So that is the
Well,
article.
she was a favorite of the Olympics. Now,
Mhm.
if I look at you, Miss Piper, and
Mhm.
I see figure skater haircut. I do. I see
Really?
you figure skater haircut, or I guess you know what else it would be. I think I could see a snowboarder look.
Oh, I did used to snowboard. My dad is really big into winter sports. The thing is, I'm absolutely terrified, like shaking in my boots, scared of the ski lift. I will never go on a ski lift. That thing looks so precarious and poorly constructed. It's constantly rattling. And knowing myself, like I've broken 7 bones, had 2 concussions. I would fall out of it. I just can see that happening in my head. Like I'm having like a Final Destination vision, okay, at that so Raven moment, and I can just see in my future falling off a ski lift, and I'd probably break my neck or something. So
Okay,
I'm not gonna do that.
we got to rewind a second. You said this is young people to old people, kind of like a United Nations translator. You said that
Alrighty.
is a "That's So Raven" moment. Is that a reference to the Nickelodeon or Disney show?
It is, and actually that was a little bit before my time in terms of Disney shows. Like I was a Good Luck Charlie, Wizards of Waverly Place, Jessie kind of girl growing up. That's what I grew up on. But That's Where Raven was like maybe like 5 to 10 years older than me. But like if you're on the internet enough, I feel like you see a That's So Raven gif or people saying like, "Oh, you had a That's So Raven moment." So I
So
feel like I
what exactly is a "That's So Raven" moment?
Well, like the protagonist of the show, the titular Raven, she has like prophetic abilities. So she will get look at the camera and look super stunned, and she'll have like a vision of something ridiculous that will happen in like 15 minutes because these shows only last like 20 minutes and 30 with commercials,
Mhm.
because they got to show the product placement to the children. Got to
Right.
get that going at a very young age.
Mhm.
So that's like the
Indoctrination.
Right, exactly. Because they have to get all their made-for-TV stuff in. I wouldn't know what a pillow pet was without the ads that ran between the Disney Channel shows, or like the
Mhm.
kinetic sand. I'm trying to think, or like Beyblades or Digimon. There was a lot of like toys come to life business going
The
with it.
kinetic sand, is that the stuff that came out of the bottle and you put it onto a like a spinny thing, and it made.
Don't think so, but I never had it because I was a very messy child, and my mom just like anything related to slime or sand. She's like, that is not entering our household. That is not welcome here. Because like I know my kids, they'd probably just end up eating it, and it'd get all over the place on the walls. I don't blame my mom because like messing that up, like cleaning that up afterward, I would not. No, I would not be there for that. So.
Now, you should look this up because this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. But back in the late 30s, maybe 30s or 40s, you could get a nuclear reactor kit, science kit as a kid that came with plutonium.
Ooh,
I shit you not. I mean, there it is. Get your own. That finally got discontinued, which is probably a good thing. Although I was talking about a 12-year-old kid that learned how to smash atoms at the age of 12, and I was kind of making fun of it. And his mom found me on YouTube making fun of him and hit me up in the comments. But anyway, I mean, I got one for you now.
okay. Ready.
And this is kind of interesting because you are a college person.
Mm-hmm.
And this was quite popular. This is quite popular among the college age kids now. Now, I did not have this activity when I was in college. But there was a 19-year-old man who was hospitalized after a game of beer pong where he, and I'm sure that's not unique. I'm sure there have been several across our institutions of higher learning. But he was taken into the emergency room with acute throat pain and abnormal breathing, and they took an X-ray, and what they found was he had a bottle cap in his esophagus. It had fallen unnoticed into his solo cup, and he swallowed it as he was chugging the beer, which you're not even supposed to do now. I don't think you play beer pong. You don't use the beer. You put water in the cups, right, to hold the cup down, and then you hit the beers out of the cans because everyone's floors were getting ruined. So they had to have surgical intervention, and they performed a rigid esophagoscopy, and they inserted a thin tube with a camera into his mouth, pulled it out, removed the bottle cap without complications. It was documented in a peer-reviewed journal. So beer pong stories documented in medical journals. Now, there are two things I did not have that were popular among the college kids today. The beer pong, I did not have. Well, actually, three. We didn't have beer pong, flip cup, or keg stands. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with those.
I feel like if I can give my 2 cents about
your 2 cents are exactly what you're supposed to be giving.
If I for the Gen Z perspective on beer pong and kickstands, we're actually, I think statistically, the generation that drinks the least. Even like party culture nowadays, it's really changed. I feel like people mostly drink like twisted teas and White Claws. I feel like beer pong is definitely more of an early 2000s, 2010s thing. Like that's something my older cousins who are now in their 30s and are married and have kids, that's what they did. Like my cousin Justin showed me how to play beer pong. He was like, I'm prepping you for college, Piper. I'm like, oh yes, I'm ready. Bring it on. And I got to college and like nobody really does that anymore. Like, and if it is, it's kind of sad and pathetic and definitely doesn't have the same enthusiasm or like cultural fascination I think that it used to have.
Do you have any, like at college parties, are there any competitive activities that are going on?
I think COVID really ruined that in a lot of aspects because
Yeah.
I think it was my second to last year of high school was it during when the pandemic happened and everybody was quarantined. So the people a year older than me, that was like their senior year. So basically people within my age range who are currently attending college, this really affected them tremendously and impacted the way they socially interact, like the way they go up and talk to people, especially at parties. I feel like get-togethers and parties nowadays are much more people standing around awkwardly, kind of nodding to the music. People aren't as social and upfront and willing to put themselves out there and meet new people anymore. And this is something I think is incredibly frustrating as someone who is very extroverted. But no, people, there's really no sense of competition unless you're like playing a board game or Mario Kart. So
What board games are big with the college crew?
I think they're more like card games. Like even Cards Against Humanity is a bit outdated
Love it.
now.
Oh, okay, that's an old person's thing. I love Cards Against Humanity.
I've played Cards Against Humanity many a time, but I feel like it's just genuinely it's kind of unk now. You know, like there's so many other card games out there. People like if you pull out Cards Against Humanity, it's like everybody's done that before. Everybody's seen that card before. We're looking for something new and fresh.
Okay, you
there's
said
still
unk. What does unk mean?
Okay, unk means I can pull up the technical Urban Dictionary definition, but unk just means old. Okay, unk is a Gen Z slang for uncle. Well, let's see. It means like your brother. Well, okay, Urban Dictionary is not being particularly helpful.
Okay,
It's
well,
saying
you don't know what you're going to get with that. So
That's true. That's true.
once you
So
go
let's just
there,
say it means old. But
okay,
and it can be used. It's multi-purposeful. Okay, like I'm unk, but I still think I have like like compared to like my friends who are like 19, 20. I feel like I am sometimes come off as a little ancient and decrepit. But like sometimes unk still has it. Some unk still has something going for them.
okay,
Um,
fair
I feel
enough.
like just because you're unk doesn't mean you can't be hip. Okay, those things are not like they are not opposites of one another.
Mm-hmm. Marlo says, want to hear really old people college games, Cardinal Poof. I have no idea what Cardinal Poof is. That's older than me. We had games, we had quarters. That was, you played quarters or a game called Thumper, which was really fast and with hand signals and stuff. But, and then my favorite drinking game was sit your ass on a bar stool and throw shots at your face, which was a very simple game. It really didn't have any rules per se. I mean, it's all in the title.
I guess
Really.
there's Jackbox. Jackbox are like online games where everybody it's given certain questions and then you put in like an answer anonymously and then everybody votes on the answer they like best.
Okay.
And it's kind of revealed who said it. I guess that's similar. Like that's probably
That's
something I've played the most.
that's
And
like Cards Against Humanity, though, isn't it?
is. It is. I just feel like it's online now. We've upgraded, okay?
Oh, okay. So yeah, you are the digital generation.
It's true.
Um, absolutely. But the whole gaming thing, when you said young people don't do it that much anymore, I was walking into school today, into Bolton Hall, and they had that message board up top, and it was one of the most amazing photos that I've ever seen. And you know how they have seminars and things that you could go to and, come learn how to do this and how to learn how to do that. And so this one really came as a shocker to me is that they're having I guess you could say, and it would be like a meeting, if you will, or of how to administer Narcan, which I was like, wow, that's where we've gotten to. We have to, unbelievable what this world has come to. But if you got to do it, you got to do it. Yeah. So another thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is one of my favorite things, and I got into a rabbit hole. I guess you would call it a rabbit hole. And when I started doing this stuff on YouTube, I had to watch a lot of YouTube. And what I have found is that now, over the course of the last month or so, I probably, in my viewing, watch more things on YouTube than I do on regular TV. But up until this time, I saw a statistic that said that YouTube was the number 2 streaming platform for viewing. And I was like, for watching shows and things, I'm like, this can't possibly be. But now I know that it is. YouTube has the best news. It comes from Fox News. It's called Fox Raw, and it's the best news. And the reason it's the best news is there's no commentary. All they do is read the news. No editorializing. This happened. Okay, great. I know that happened. I can make my own decision. But now my algorithm is so messed up because I started watching tornado documentaries.
You were talking about this.
And I am sucked in now to tornado documentaries. And what I like to do is I like to share, some of the best documentaries. Now, not by titles, but because I don't even know what they are. But the weather thing, and I've learned that this is not an old people thing. The Weather Channel used to be an old people thing, right? And it's really not. And my son, who's 31, and that would be old people to you.
I think that's more like, I think 30 is the new 20, okay? Let's not age people in their 30s quite yet, okay? Because I'm eventually going to be 30 and I still want to be young and turned. So
Okay.
I think people in their 30s are still, you know what? They're spring young chickens, okay? Do not knock people in their 30s.
Now, I started watching these things, and everyone's got one. Okay. So there's like 100 different storm chasers out there. And there are two guys out there. Reed Timmer is one. And this guy goes right into the belly of the beast when he's around. In fact, we had tornadoes here last year, and the place was up in Slinger or Hartford, and everyone was going crazy because someone spotted Reed Timmer. He's like a rock star. And the other one is Ryan Hall. And Ryan Hall does weather. It's the best weather you'll ever see. And so I said my son was living in Boston, and they got all this snow last week, and I was watching Ryan Hall do the report. I'm telling you, if you like, if we get into and you hear even an inkling of tornadoes breaking out, and in that belt from Oklahoma through Missouri all the way there, where they always do, Kentucky, Tennessee, don't go to the weather channels. Go right to Ryan Hall. It's the most amazing thing if you're into that. But I noticed a pattern, and I've had this conversation with my wife about this, and people are going crazy over climate change. Is it real? Anytime something anytime there's a bad storm, anytime there's a mudslide or whatever, people immediately go climate change, and it's like, well, maybe not. But I happen to think, and I said this to my wife because there was so much stuff going on, I happen to think that we're in the middle of some real biblical shit right now. Okay. That if you believe in the stories of the Bible, and if you believe, it was written by 1,500 different people, so kind of passed around. But if you believe any of that, and they say that God destroyed with floods and everything, he didn't do it he couldn't have done it in an after. Well, he could have, right? If he was God. So, but he, maybe it's taken time. So we could be in the middle of this biblical stuff. But I did notice, which probably could be backed up scientifically. So I went to say, okay, what are the top deadliest tornadoes in the United States since in the last 40 years? Right? And every single one of them, the real bad ones, were after 2008. Nothing before that. So it's like, maybe there is something to that there is, a change in climate, because these are all happening now. So the big ones that if you want to dive into that are pretty wild is, and there was a day in 2011, April 27th, and there was, 2011 was a bad year for tornadoes, especially the month of April, right? Because there was a point in between April 25th and 28th, where they had different a number of tornadoes. They had 357 tornadoes in the month of April, and they had some in a stretch. The Joplin, Missouri tornado, if you want to see that one, that is absolutely wild. Killed 158 people. And then they have one called Super Tuesday, which there were Tennessee and Arkansas, there were 57 tornadoes. The Moore tornado in 2013. Now, the reason I get sucked into these things is because now we're in a situation where I'm going to say your people, you young people, for some reason well, no, it's not even young people. It's old people too. They think that the phone is some sort of like a force shield, that nothing is going to happen to them. They reach for the phone and they start showing things. So a tornado is bearing down on them, and then they they reach for their phone. And the videos that you get, which are unbelievable, they're incredibly compelling, is that people are within, they're out in the fields of Oklahoma, and they couldn't be, we're talking F5 tornadoes, that would be the Fujita scale. And they are literally like a quarter mile away from them. And you hear the video in the background, they're just going, wow. And it's like, man, you're a quarter mile away from this. So when I was looking at this and I started taking screen grabs, and I just want to share this with the people, everyone's a storm chaser now too. Okay. That's the other thing. It's like, ooh, tornadoes are coming. We're going to go out and storm chase. Storm chasing to me is not something you just kind of take up. People put more precaution into taking up rollerblading than they do with storm chasing. So like right here, this right there, that's Reed Timmer's vehicle. That is a storm chaser right there. The what do they call that? The detonator.
That looks like something Darth Vader would ride around in. Okay,
yeah, it's a Ford F-50, and it's got all the stuff that's close to the ground, so the wind can't get up underneath it. That is a storm chasing vehicle. Okay, this is not a storm chasing vehicle. Okay, the Nissan Rogue, not a storm chasing vehicle. Okay, this is right. This guy right here, storm chaser. You can see he's got the camera and he's got all of that stuff and he's got the computer. Storm chaser. You know who's not a storm chaser? These people, not storm chasers at all. You know who else isn't? These people are not storm chasers. And you see these things, and that's why I love watching these videos, to see these knuckleheads. Here we go. Which way we're driving? We're going to drive right toward it. I see that. I am going the other way. Storm chaser? Yep. Storm chaser, not a storm chaser.
I don't think that kid has the expertise yet.
Here we go. These are people going towards the tornado.
Well,
so it's like a traffic jam.
Sometimes it really is survival of the fittest. This is just maybe natural selection at work.
Social Darwinism. But the best tornadoes, if you want to get into it, I don't know what it is. I can watch them, and you hate to see the destruction, right? You don't want to see the destruction. You hate to see anyone get injured, and it's absolutely sad when people come out of their tornado shelters and everything's gone, and that is you feel terrible for them. But who I don't feel terrible for is them. I do not. Those people I do not feel terrible for. Okay, because you're just an absolute idiot. Anytime, but I have to admit this: when the weather gets bad, okay, and they say, yeah, seek shelter, I seek shelter. But I did this might have been a couple of summers ago, and I caught myself saying, I just did the most dad thing ever. And we had storm warnings coming in. Our house faces west. We can look out our front windows and we can see the clouds coming. We're close up near West Bend, which is in Wisconsin. It's that tornado alley, West Bend, Beaver Dam, through Sheboygan, where it always rolls. And the wind started picking up and the clouds got dark and it starts rolling in. And for some unknown reason, it was like moths to a flame. And I found myself out in the driveway just looking up, going, yeah, it's going to be a bad one. And I have no idea why I did that. That is like the most dad thing ever.
See,
To
I
be,
come from a long lineage, a long family line of people who, like, whenever there's a tornado coming through, because, like, my grandmother lives down in good old Arkansas, like, I was
they
obviously
get them.
born in Missouri. I come, like, my grandmother's side of the family, my mom's mom, comes from the South. So I come from, like, a large family. Whenever there's a tornado rolling through, it's just, like, kind of standing outside, hands on your hips, being like, yeah, this is gonna
Hmm.
be a big one, who knows how much it's gonna destroy, tear up, destruct. I mean, before I was born, there was a tornado, like 2 months before I was born, I believe, a couple months. There was a big ass tornado that ripped up our whole neighborhood. Like, okay, so like this is the end of the street right here, and it's completely fine, everything is in order. And then as you go down the road, more and more things are gone from the houses, like they're missing windows, roofs are gone. So you get to the other end of the street, and like houses have been completely taken up by the tornado. That's what happened in my parents' neighborhood before I was born. Like they had to go down the basement. I think my grandmother was visiting. My dad left behind his pregnant wife, and mother-in-law to go searching for our evil cat, Lula. She was a calico, and she eventually died of a brain tumor. She had a lot going on. But like nobody died. Thankfully, only a
Yes.
couple of dogs got sucked up by that whole affair. But honestly, I think I could survive a tornado. I think it'd be like a Wizard of Oz type situation. I think I'd be sucked up in there and be taken to somewhere else. So I do not fear them. I think I'll be okay.
And you'd be there with Ariana Grande and Jeff Goldblum.
I
Um,
would be though. Wait, I could get to meet Ariana Grande. This makes me want to go encounter a tornado even more.
wait, okay, let's talk Wicked. The movie sucks.
Objectively, the movies Wicked, the Wicked movies are not
Hmm.
good cinema. And I'm saying this
No.
as someone who is a film studies minor. Like, I have an internship at Milwaukee Film. I watched over like around 300 movies last year. Like, I know my stuff when it comes to film. I've seen a
Hmm.
lot of stinkers. I've seen a lot of masterpieces, that movies that legitimately moved me. Wicked is possibly my biggest guilty pleasure in all of cinema. They're not good. The lighting atrocious. There's a huge lens glare in every single scene. The color grading. This is supposed to be Oz. It's supposed to be vivid and colorful and vibrant, and
Flat.
it has the palette of like a Michael's parking lot. Like it's legitimately so drab and deflated. But when those girls sing, I'm
Can't beat
there.
them.
You really can't though.
You can't beat
So,
them. But
no.
it's Wicked as a play in the theater kicks the movie's asses. I
I
think it's
bet.
something that got lost when you went from the play to the screen. It totally got lost. One that didn't, though, that is very good. See, we'll just pivot right to musicals. Um, One that didn't get lost is West Side Story. The last West Side Story that was done by Steven Spielberg was remarkable,
Gorgeous,
and
great movie.
it was. But he went into it saying, "I'm going to make this look like the theater play," and
Mhm,
he succeeded.
mhm.
But so if I was going to ask you, I've got in front of me here, and you can take a guess at these because there's some of them that are surprising. The top 10 states, okay, the top 10 tornado states from 1996, well before you were born there, Miss Piper, from 1996 to today, and there are 10 of them. What would you say are those 10 states? What would be number one?
Oklahoma, Oklahoma's
Oklahoma,
definitely on there.
Oklahoma's number 4.
Ooh,
I think people would immediately go to Oklahoma and go, "That's it. Oklahoma is number 1." But no, it is
like,
number 4.
not a lot happens in Oklahoma. Like, I'm sorry to all the people who are unfortunately stuck there. We will free you one day. We will get you out of there. I think you
Mm,
deserve better.
yes.
Um, Texas. I think Texas is going to be there.
Texas
Everything's
is
bigger in
number
Texas.
Texas is number 6.
Oh, okay.
Texas is,
Texas
yep.
scares me.
Mhm.
That whole state is terrifying to me. I never make plans to enter there. Whatever they got going on down there can stay there. Um,
Uh-huh. Let's see what
I'm
else.
trying to think what's also in that area. Kansas. How could I forget
Not
Kansas?
in the top 10. And here we're just talking Wizard of Oz, and that was set in Kansas. Kansas not in the top 10, surprisingly.
I think that's against the laws of the universe. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't compute in my brain. We need to make sure there's more tornadoes happening in Kansas. So to make we do. We need to come up with some like weather device that can like summon tornadoes and send a plague of them upon Kansas to make sure this never happens again. I don't see a report like this on my desk ever again. Okay? Let that be known. I'm
Okay.
gonna go with Wisconsin then. You know
Nope.
what, represent my no, it's not there.
Wisconsin is
Okay,
not
well,
there,
we don't
although
really
we've
get a
had
lot
some
of
bad.
tornadoes. I just was like, maybe Wisconsin representation. Because whenever
Uh,
Wisconsin is mentioned in anything good or bad, I'm like, that's my state though.
yeah.
Missouri.
Missouri's number 2.
Ooh,
Missouri is number 2.
just nobody should live there. Except St. Louis. I do like St. Louis. St. Louis is a very beautiful
Where
city.
my son went to school. He went to school at
Really?
St. Louis
I was
University.
I was considering getting my master's there, but now I think I'm going to law school. My academic journey is all over the place.
Yeah.
Um,
So is mine.
Like, you know what? I've already changed my majors once. I transferred from another school. I've done every single type of schooling on the face of the planet. I've done public, private, online, homeschool. Like they just don't know what to do with me. Okay. Another
You know
state.
what they should do with you, Miss Piper?
What
They
should they
should
do?
just let you do whatever you want.
I have said this. I really have. I've always been one of those people that just like, you know what, I'm going to figure out things for myself. I'm very independent. Let me figure out these things trial and error. But I have ops out there, okay? They're trying to come for me. All right. They're trying to stop me. They're trying to stop the private perspective, potentially because it's too powerful. We don't know what I could do at my full capability, at my
You
entire prowess.
absolutely. I mean, you should not be. People should not try and stop you. They can only hope to contain you. That's what it is. Well, the 10 states. Here we go.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
10 to 1. 10. The 10 and 9 are surprising. 10 is Illinois. Although it's not that surprising because people only think of Illinois as Chicago, and there's a whole lot of Illinois left out of
Illinois is
Chicago.
such an
In
ugly
fact,
ass.
St. Louis is only halfway down Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot more Illinois there. Number 9 is Indiana.
Indiana. I've only driven through Indiana, and I'm never actually physically setting foot there. And I think that's for
No.
the best.
Yeah, I think so. Number 8 is Kentucky.
Oh, okay. That
Number
makes sense.
Number 7 is Arkansas.
Oh, they're coming for my grandma. Oh my goodness, my 91-year-old grandma who's on stage 3 heart failure. Oh goodness gracious. I know. Shout out Grandma Mary.
There we go. 6 is Texas. 5, another one of the single vowel states, Tennessee.
Oh.
Oklahoma is number 4. 3, another single vowel state, Mississippi, followed by Missouri and then Alabama.
Oh,
The
okay.
single vowel states, and I've said this on more than one occasion, the single vowel states are the ones to look out for.
Okay. That's noted. I'll put
They're
a pin in that.
So one of the things that I do here, and because I'm just about to the end of the show, and I want to thank you for joining me, Piper. You were a blast, and I'd love to have you on again because
I would absolutely love that because one thing about me is that I love to yap and I love giving my opinions, and I have to redeem myself because I feel like my article choices weren't as zany as they could have been,
don't worry
and
about
I need to show that I can find more interesting tidbits. Like I love fun facts. Like my favorite fun fact of the moment is that when they were building the first pyramids of Giza, mammoths still roam the earth in remote parts of Siberia. So I think if I find more fun stuff like that, the show would be even more engaging.
What I used to do in my classes is I conclude the class with Kenneth's quote of the day. But I always concluded the class with a fun fact because I said to the students, you may not remember anything that I teach you, but I guarantee you, I will give you will learn something every class. And so I would give them a fun fact. like chainsaws were originally created for childbirth.
That unfortunately sounds very correct.
Yeah, look it up.
That
So
I believe you. I believe you because childbirth in general is like a form of body horror. Like there are so many things that can go wrong,
mhm,
and go sideways. So that doesn't really surprise me. Like we literally cut into women for like for C-sections. So it doesn't
mhm.
surprise me that chainsaws were getting up down there.
Yeah,
Ooh,
the chainsaws, yeah, they are. The fun facts, if you want to bring fun facts, I love fun facts, and people
oh,
love fun facts.
they do.
Um,
Cause like you know what, there's nothing better than just going up to like hanging out with your friends, going out on the town, and being like, guys, I know something that's gonna rock your socks. Okay, I know something that's gonna blow your minds. It might be slightly dweeby, but you know what, you got to be something in this world.
you just drop some knowledge on them and leave, and
True.
let them figure it out. What the hell did you
What
just say?
you can be really good at trivia night, and
You
that's
should
like
be.
a desirable skill that everybody wants. It's to be
Hmm.
really good at like bar trivia.
You could. You
It's true.
could. Now, one of the things that I do, and I conclude the show with a segment called "What Color is the Sky on Your Planet?" And that is where I take a story that is so ridiculous, and the people in the story, you look at them, and then when you're done reading about them, you go, "What color is the sky on your planet?" And this one is we're going to Canada. And usually you could just stop right there and say you live in Canada. What color is the sky on your planet? But we're not going to. We're a Canadian psychology professor who studies how relationships with pets
Mhm.
support healthy development has her own therapy animal. Um, Care to guess what it is?
Capybara.
No, it is not. She has her own therapy animal. It is an emotional support chicken.
Oh, you know what? Good for her. I'd be really tempted to eat a chicken if I had it as a pet. So it honestly shows her willpower, and I think that's very admirable.
So she says, I feel like she's so smart, she can understand my emotions. No, she can't, Sonia Kong. It's an 11-month-old chicken. She named it Saturday for the day she adopted it from a farm. She probably ripped it from the claws of an evil chicken farmer in British Columbia. And she goes, I have this chicken, and when I'm sad, the chicken would just look at me, trying to figure out what was going on, as if the chicken was saying, why are you crying? No, it's not. The chicken is just a chicken looking at you. But she said, no, that is my baby. She has crafted a special diaper for the chicken so it can travel with her around the city. So she teaches at the University of Northern British Columbia. Don't go to school there if you got like a chicken wielding professor. And she said she's conducting this study how pets impact the social and emotional development of teens. Now, I believe that because if I could, I would get Kenneth rated as an emotional support dog and take him anywhere. Except he's really reactive to people, and he's big and he's 80 pounds, and people are scared of him because he's a pit bull, but he's not.
Love
Me,
pit bulls. They're basically are
they're
great at
sweeties.
They are. Every single pit bull I've met on the face of the planet has been the most adorable, sweetest creature. You want to know the true evil of dog breeds? And I used to show dog. I
Oh,
was in
I
4-H.
know. Okay, so you
Okay,
show
okay.
dogs now. We can add that to the Piper list of talents. You showed dogs.
I showed dogs when I was in 4-H growing up. I showed my family's Labradoodle, which I know some people
Hands,
have problems with Labradoodles, but
4-H, hands, heart. What are the other two H's? Health,
what are we talking about? What's going
4-H.
on?
With the 4-H,
Oh, I don't
head,
know. I
hands,
was there to
heart.
scrapbook and, be up there with the animals, okay? I was upset. Like I cannot state how much I was obsessed with animals growing up. I lived and breathed them. Like my birthday growing up, like all my birthdays were related to animals, like going out on safaris, going out to the jungle, going to the zoo. Like this was my bread and butter. Like this was my main thing I woke up and thought about every single day.
So let me guess
Um,
that. Let me guess at the vicious dog, the Chihuahua.
no, Actually, no.
Okay.
I know Chihuahuas are very controversial. My family has a Chihuahua mutt they adopted from the Humane Society that my mother hates and is constantly planning to pawn off on other people. Her name is Ruby. She's a very big sweetie. She's not very particularly smart though, but she always gets what she wants. So maybe she is the most intelligent out of
Mhm.
all of us. But no, Chihuahuas were not the most vicious breed I encountered.
So, what is the breed that you were talking about?
Labradors. Labradors? I used
Really?
to work. Yes, I also used to volunteer at the Humane Society with me and my mom did that, and every single lab that came through their doors was the most untrained, high energy, legit like they would pounce on people. They did not understand any like basic commands. They didn't know how to sit, they didn't know how to walk, you know. I think people get labs for like their kids thinking that will be like a fun family pet, but then they realize they have to like then it comes to them, they recognize they have to legitimately put in work. Like this is an animal that you have to take care of and teach, and then they just give up and then they just dump them off at the local pound,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
like not the animal's fault. Like this is truly like a people issue.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but like because labs are so popular and they're considered such, you know, easygoing breeds when they're very like they require a lot of exercise. Like they demand a lot of attention, and if people aren't ready to give that, they just abandon them. So it's not the lab's fault, truly. But in my personal experience, labs are just insane. They are legitimately just balls of energy that cannot be stopped.
Well,
If so,
if you could give me any tips on how to keep my dog from pulling on a walk, I would appreciate it. I've done everything from a prong collar to putting a backpack on him with 20 pounds to slow him down. But anyway, that is it. The Canadian psychology professor has she has gone on and she is living with an emotional support chicken. At which point I say, "What color is the sky on your planet?" So,
I
Miss Piper, thank you
mhm.
for joining me. I don't do this more than an hour a day because any more than that, it would seem to be work. I am thrilled that you came on and did this with me. And I will see you in class on Thursday. You have been such a wonderful addition to the show. Like I said, there are so many different layers to you. We start peeling these things back. I bet you've got stories that I can't even begin to imagine. And that's the one thing I always said. I always told my son, never, providing it's not illegal or you're going to get injured, you
Mhm.
never turn your back on a good story, on
True.
something that could turn into a good story. And I believe I don't know if I shared this in class where I said that he was surfing out in San Diego. And and he put
Mhm.
his surfboard through the front windshield of his rent a car, and he was all bummed out. And I said, "Don't bum out. 15 years from now, the topic of surfing could come up, and you'll probably be the only one who's ever put a surfboard through the front of a car window." So
It's
it's
true.
always for the story. Live for the story. Piper, thank you very much. I will see you
Of
on
course.
Thursday.
I'll
And
see you
for
on
the
Thursday.
rest of the people here, I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Make
Bye.
good choices. And that's it for this episode of KB's Unemployed Show. If you want to follow me on my unemployed journey, just subscribe to my channel below or dive into one of the playlists for all my unemployed action.